my brother and his buddies from high school decided to go what I call walkabout. And they called my parents in early June that year and said they were in Weiser, Idaho. There's a big music festival there. It's the National Fiddlers Contest. My mother and father decided, well, they were going to go on vacation. They would just go out there and meet up with my brother and his friends. But I remember we were at a restaurant, and I was just sitting there eating my supper, and this old-time fiddler from Lincoln, Nebraska, his name was Lawyer Burgeonell. He came up and stuck a fiddle under my chin and had me grab the bow and just started playing, while I was trying to eat my supper. And I was like, wow, this is pretty wild. Well, the very next day, I think my dad purchased an inexpensive violin, and Lawyer taught me Get Along Home, Cindy, Cindy. And I played that for 1,500 miles all the way back home to Delia, Kansas, that fiddle tune. But that's how I kind of got into it. The music department, when I was attending, was very active. I mean, the halls were always crowded between class, when class would let out, or class getting ready to start. I mean, it was just very, very busy. The ensembles in the band room and the choir room, always there's something going on. One thing about Dr. Matthews that I remembered about the music theory, he really wanted everyone in the class, everyone, to get it. You have to know this to be successful, as a musician, as a music teacher. And he stayed with you, the class till they got it. He was an incredible human being. The thing that I really liked about the faculty as well was, even if it was in passing in the hall, they would talk, what's going on, what's happening, and wanted to know how things were going. All the faculty, even faculty that I didn't have classes with, that happened. So very friendly, yeah. In 1991, I started a Suzuki violin program here at Missouri Western with the support of the music department and the Division of Continuing Education. And that's where students from the community, not college students, high school students, well, for the Suzuki, it was very young students would come in and study. And after 4 or 5 years of that, I decided to start a youth orchestra because my students needed an orchestra. So my students came from small towns around the area. So it was a need that I really wanted my students to have filled, providing a youth orchestra. And I did that for 15 years. So, and the neat thing about it is once they outgrew my orchestra, when they got in high school, say they were juniors or seniors, then we would roll them right into the college orchestra. I believe it was 2009, Missouri Western, the St. Joe Symphony, and the school district had a collaboration. It was called the Instrumental Infusion, and it's still going on today. And that's where they bring in students from the district, 5th graders, and they get to try all the musical instruments that are available for them to play in the 6th grade. With the kids on the north side, a lot of the families couldn't afford instruments. It was an uphill battle. The district had a limited number that they could rent to the students. So that first year, I really came to the conclusion, I'm gonna have to get some instruments. And I reached out to colleagues, some in Kansas City. I did PTA, I reached out to PTA, alumni associations, all kinds of different organizations. I was talking to my replacement the other night. I was just wondering, I said, how many instruments do you think? And I think she mentioned we had close to 120 instruments that were donated or purchased through the PTA or alumni association. So that was really nice. It was a comfort, like, you need this, I can cover it for you. You or your family, don't even worry about it. You're covered for this. If you want to play an orchestra or play a stringed instrument, when they had a great performance, a recital, or a concert, even with an orchestra, the pride on their face and happiness and joy, camaraderie with the other members, if it was an orchestra, that was kind of neat. I didn't grow up with that myself in high school. I got that later on as an adult, but to see kids going through that was very rewarding. And the sense of pride and accomplishment on a job well done, I think as a teacher, that was the most rewarding for me. And now I'll play a little classical style on the violin. That's all, folks.